Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well folks, if you are starting to doubt Black Lives Matter, their credibility and some of the issues that they get behind, well look no further folks. BLM has officially restored all credibility. Obviously you guys know I'm being completely sarcastic. BLM continues to grift just as you'd expect. There are a lot of things that Black Lives Matter could be doing. Community programs, using the money that they fundraised from actual communities to invest back in those actual communities. But no, of course not. Black Lives Matter is focused on something else. As Patrice Cancoolers, the co-founder of BLM, jumps on the hashtag Free Jussie bandwagon because of course the most important issue in black social justice is freeing a criminal who orchestrated an absolutely horrendous fake hate crime in an effort to take advantage of America's very sensitive race history so he could gain publicity and more notoriety before his album debut. Here we go once again folks. BLM's track record of siding with legitimate criminals instead of the law-abiding concerned citizens of their community continues as of course the BLM grift continues. Let me show you guys what's going on here, just how ridiculous it all is. But of course before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. With that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so here it is. Black Lives Matter co-founder asks followers to quote, call the jails and demand Jussie Smollett be freed. Just take a look at this.
Hey everyone, Patrice Colors here. I'm just logging in because I'm in Chicago and was able to see Jussie today. And he's strong, but what's happening inside is it's just unacceptable. Today is the first day that he's going to be able to get an actual bed. He's been sleeping on a restraint bed. They've also filed for him to be released, filed to the appellate court. Hopefully we'll learn by this week, no later than Wednesday, if he'll get out. And honestly, we just need folks to keep tagging Free Jussie, keep posting. We need folks to call the jails and check up on him, but also say that you think he should be freed. And the last thing is we need folks to challenge the misinformation and disinformation around this case. That's so critical. What happened to Jussie could happen to any of us, and it's completely unacceptable. Thanks, y'all, and please take care of each other.
Oh, the horror, the injustice. Jussie Smollett doesn't have a comfortable bed to sleep in. This, my folks, is elitist liberalism. It's elitist liberalism in a different form. And that's exactly what Black Lives Matter is. Shows you just how out of touch they are. I mean, there's serious issues on the ground. There's black life being lost every single day to gun violence. And most of it black youth. I mean, young children, young kids, teenagers, or young adults. Massive issues with fatherless homes, crime on the streets, substance abuse, you name it. And Black Lives Matter is focused on the fact that elitist, liberal, Democrat, Hollywood superstar Jussie Smollett, a sociopathic con artist, doesn't have a comfortable bed to sleep on in jail. That's the biggest injustice of the year. They want to have you convinced. And what you can do to help right the wrongs of America's past and to fight for social justice is to call the jail and have Jussie Smollett freed from jail. First of all, what is calling the jail gonna do? What are you gonna speak to the warden or a secretary or a prison guard and they're just magically gonna free Jussie Smollett? Completely ridiculous, but not nearly as ridiculous as implying that Jussie Smollett should be released from jail. Jussie Smollett should count his lucky stars that he's not in prison. He got a light sentence, 150 days in the county jail. I've stated it so many times and I will state it again. After what the man did, after the con that he tried to pull on the American people, this completely fraudulent hate hoax during such a delicate and divisive time in American history, he should be in prison. So utterly ridiculous. And all of these elitist Democrat fools and Hollywood weirdos look like complete hacks calling for the freeing of Jussie Smollett. Take a look at this one. Taraji Fenson on Instagram, hashtag Free Jussie. I am not here to debate you on his innocence, but we can agree that the punishment does not fit the crime. Essentially implying that she understands that he's guilty, but he should be free anyways. The punishment doesn't fit the crime, you're right, but in the wrong wrong way. She then goes on to say Emmett Till was brutally beaten, ultimately murdered, because of a lie, and none of the people involved with his demise spent one day in jail, even after Carolyn Bryant admitted that her claims were false. No one was hurt or lost during Juicy's ordeal. He has already lost everything. To me as an artist, not to be able to create that in itself is punishment enough. He can't get a job. No one in Hollywood will hire him. And again, as an artist who loves to create that is in prison, he's in jail, not in prison, but anyways, my prayer is that he is freed and put on house arrest and probation, because in this case, that would just seem fair. Please, #free Jussie. Immediate response, how about no? And I get so frustrated, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I get some of these liberal twats on my Twitter feed sometimes, telling me that I'm obsessed with Juicy Sommelier. But no, it's not an obsession. You know what it really is? It's anger, it's frustration. This idea that what Juicy Sommelier did was not that bad because no one was harmed is completely bogus. One of the gravest current threats to American society right now is the division. It's why America's enemies are so focused on this culture war and pitting Americans against each other. It's the destabilization of American culture and society. We're living through some of the most divisive times ever. And during this time, Juicy Sommelier decided that he was going to fake a hate crime and try to pin it on 75 million American people, American voters, people who supported President Donald Trump, to try to create this phony narrative that they're out in the streets of Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold, assaulting people for the color of their skin and orientation. That's not a small crime. That's disgusting. Juicy Sommelier shouldn't be freed, and Juicy Sommelier not being able to work again in Hollywood after what he did is not cancel culture. He did that to himself. He's a criminal and he belongs in prison. And the lack of common sense and logic from these leftoids in the arguments that they're making to free Juicy Sommelier are frankly ridiculous. You know who's now once again on the record coming to his defense? Chicago's Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx, the corrupt state attorney who, despite all the evidence and despite the gravity of what Juicy Sommelier did, dropped all of his charges, and they had to be reinstated later as she was thrown out for a conflict of interest. Well, she's now on the record. Kim Foxx calls Juicy Sommelier prosecution failure of the justice system. Juicy Smollett faced kangaroo prosecution, says Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx. She then goes on to argue that it was a political persecution rather than a prosecution, and that millions of dollars were spent to investigate this rather benign crime from Juicy Sommelier. That's her logic, that it was a waste of taxpayer money. But again, it's a disingenuous argument. The money wasted on Juicy Sommelier's investigation wasn't the fault of the police department or investigators who were merely investigating the crime. The blame, of course, lands on Juicy Sommelier's shoulders. He's the one who committed the crime. He's the one who then ran to the media and made it a national story, forcing the investigation in the waste of taxpayer dollars. I mean, clearly dishonest arguments that don't hold up to the lightest of scrutiny, kind of like Juicy Sommelier's crime and the claim of his innocence. And the funniest part is, after Juicy Sommelier was sentenced, he continued to double down, walking across the courtroom like this with his fist raised high. I mean, it's almost as if this guy thinks he's Martin Luther King Jr. He's a fraud. And if anything, he's dealt a blow to his community and dealt a blow to social justice activism everywhere. And I mean true social justice activism, not the nonsense that we see on college campuses and everything else. That's what all of these self-absorbed, self-interested, narcissistic social justice warriors have done to the social justice movement, and especially Black Lives Matter. They've made it all about political power, individual power, while standing on the shoulders of the communities that they purport to represent. I mean, just the other day I was watching little news clips and I saw this one.
We got a war right here. We ain't got to go over to where they having a war at. We having a war right here.
Living in constant fear.
And every day we getting shot. I get so sad of these sirens.
Seems to be a daily reminder for Barbara Thompson, as part of her South Side community is once again wrapped in police tape.
Chicago residents living in constant fear is the quote. We've got a war right here, and it shows you the disconnect. They say that Republicans are pushing Putin's propaganda for arguing that the US should not be involved in the Ukraine-Russia border crisis, and that we have more important issues at home. We're the ones who are out of touch. We're the terrible ones who are propping up a despot dictator. Meanwhile, more people are losing their lives every day within American borders domestically. Young Black lives being lost at an astonishing rate, and social justice activists activists are more focused on changing their profile picture to the Ukrainian flag than they care about American lives being lost. Elitist latte liberalism, folks. That's what it is, and that's what Black Lives Matter has been since the start. Fundraising and farming social and cultural relevance on other people's problems, with absolutely no intention of doing anything to help you. There's only one way to describe it: morally reprehensible, a grift, a fraud, a scam. And maybe that's why they're so intent on shilling for the release of Juicy Sommelier, who's essentially one of them. But of course, that's what I got for you. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share it as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.